Good morning and welcome to our webinar today on why Domino is key to your digital transformation. We're happy to have you today and glad you could join us. We have a short but exciting presentation to make with you. And Barry, if you'll roll to the next slide, I'll introduce you. We have someone that many of you probably already know, who is Barry Rosen, who is our Senior Director of Product Management, responsible for the Domino portfolio. My name is Daniel Allen. I'm product marketing for Domino as well and support that. And I'm going to hand it off here to Barry to take it on.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Dan. So just want to say thank you to everyone for joining. We've got a short but sweet presentation for you today. And we're going to talk about, Domino and why Domino is important and still relevant today. So one of the big things that is really exciting to us is that as a 30-year-old product, 40% of Fortune 500 companies still use Domino today. And we've got a couple of reasons why. A lot of these come down to the strength of the platform. This is a really strong platform. It has emphasis on data security, data privacy, and regulatory standards. And really it comes down to the ability to solve real business problems. And you may ask, what does that actually mean? How do we solve business problems? So I'm going to give you a quick example of some of our customers' problems that we help solve. So some software you can buy off the shelf, and that's great. And some software you really need to power your own individual business workflows to solve your business problems. So for example, we have a customer that they are a chicken farmer, and they use our product to help inventory their chicken and their cells. And they actually do this on a mobile device. So they have an iPad that they can take directly into their farms and input their data on their chickens and really run their business from Domino. There was nothing that they could purchase off the shelf that would give them the power, the security, and the capabilities that Domino gave them. And they've had Domino for a very long time, and they continue to utilize the TCO and the value of the platform. And really, Domino started as a low-code platform. Domino was low-code before there was low-code. Domino allowed business users to solve their own problems. So a lot of times in organizations, what would happen is a department would have a problem. Someone who was savvy could write a business application that was specific to that department, and they just used it because it worked. The other thing that we do really, really well is we integrate with thousands of critical business applications, from SAP to Salesforce to Azure to GCP, you name it, we will integrate with it. We have many, many products and many applications that span the globe and that use many different integrations with other providers as well. So we play well with whatever products you have in your business. So next slide. So I just want to make sure that people understand this is just a subset of the Fortune 500 companies that do use our product, but we just wanted to show across the different industries who is using Domino. And as you can see, we span multiple different industries, from financial to industrial to travel to medical to automotive firms to healthcare. And what you see is a lot of things that they have in common is their need for security, their need for custom workflow solutions, and their need for data privacy. So, and this doesn't even include a lot of the federal and government agencies that are running our products as well. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dan.
Okay, well, great. Let me talk a little bit about. Did we skip a slide? Is there a slide?
No, Dan, I think this is your first slide.
Okay, all right.
That's the next slide.
Okay, just wanted to be sure. I may have put mine in a different order this morning. But let me highlight a couple of areas where we, just to complement what Barry said about delivering business outcomes and integrations. And what you see here is basically a flyover of some other examples, some that are quite specific and some that are a little bigger. And I just wanted to highlight a few of these to let you understand how important Domino is to some of our customers. A good example is Power Metal, and they're a stamped metals manufacturer. And they wanted to improve their quote and order confirmation turnaround for projects. And they wanted to be best in class because they believed this would differentiate them from their competition. And their goal was to have a 24-hour response time. And they accomplished this with Domino. Now, another one that we have is over to the far right, which is Arvid Gerde, a road and safety railing manufacturer in Norway. You know, with our partner ISI locally, we developed apps that work both offline and online. Now, why is this important to them? Because they have a large remote workforce that installs railings all around the country in Norway. And many times they're not connected to the internet. So our integrations with Domino allow the remote workforce to update job site information and status and download it later when they're reconnected. So really, really important. Another interesting example would be AccuBiz, which is on the top next to Power Metal. And AccuBiz is a leading provider of expense management solutions. And they were really keen to expand their service offering and wanted to make their AccuBiz EMS solution useful on a mobile device. And they wanted to design and develop a smartphone app called AccuBiz Capture that would enable employees of their customers to snap photos of receipts and upload that directly to the expense system. And then this expense claim is processed using a series of fully digitized and automated workflows. And the data is channeled into a payroll system where the employees reimbursed for the expense without having to complete any spreadsheets or any other, or send off any paper receipts or anything of that nature. And Domino is the foundation of AccuBiz EMS, this solution, and provides all the interfaces needed to ensure communication between their app and the web portal. And so this has led to remarkable growth, as you can see in their user base. And so let's go on, if I could segue to the next slide here, and just talk about a scenario that we have seen recently over and over. Now, as you think about what you're doing in your own company, one of the things that we are seeing from many of our customers today is a focus on modernization and the formulation of an IT strategy around digital transformation. And digital transformation has been around for a few years, but not everybody has been able to embrace all that early on. Now, here is a great example of a Fortune 500 electronics manufacturer, a large global customer for us, who decided to undertake a reevaluation of Domino inside their organization and to really understand whether Domino should be part of their future IT strategy. And since these guys are a long-term Domino customer, this evaluation was really their first in-depth look at the role Domino played in their organization in quite some time. Now, what they uncovered here really surprised their IT team, because after months of evaluating this, the IT organization found that Domino was not only vital to their workflow and internal processes, but Domino delivered real ROI. And to replace Domino would require the purchase, deployment, and the attached cost for 5 new applications. And this cost will be 10 times the price of their current Domino solution. And the other problem that they thought was really more alarming as well was the project. If they were going to get off the Domino, not only was this going to be 10 times more expensive, but the migration included tons of business risk and a project that would span multiple years. And so they recognized the value of Domino after this evaluation and decided to upgrade to the latest version 12, and in the process of doing that now. And they really realized at the end of the day that Domino and the new features that we put out would really fit well into their future digital strategy. And so really an important example of what we're seeing. And we've had a number of customers that have fallen into this category that we worked with. And we're really happy to see that because it reinforces the value that we believe Domino provides our customers. Okay, Barry.
Well, thank you, Dan. That was excellent. I really love the details that you gave and how Domino powers businesses. And not only do they power businesses, but the TCO that they get and the value that they get in every release is just phenomenal. And it just happens a lot over time. We hear that over and over. So let's just take a look at the release history. We want to show you, what HCL has been investing in Domino over time. So if you just take a look here, Domino version 9, that came out in 2013. So that's about almost 10 years old at this point. Immediately in 2018, when HCL took over, we released Domino V10. We had a lot of different WOWs in V10. So in V10, we got rid of a lot of the limitations in terms of the file size. So we expanded the file size of the NSF, a lot of the field values as well. In Domino 11 in 2019, we released Nomad Mobile with CentOS support. And we first started supporting Domino and Docker containers as well. And also we introduced our PWA experience with Verse. In V12, which we released in 2021, we really focused on cloud native capabilities. And this is where we extended our Nomad capabilities from mobile devices to web. We also automated certificate management, which is really, really important. And we just released 12.01, where we extended our secure mail capabilities and we integrated third-party meeting scheduling such as SameTime, Zoom, and Teams. So we've really done a lot of work over the years. And what's really interesting about this as well is that the majority of our customer base is on the latest releases on V11 and V12. So over 55% of our customers have adopted the latest releases. So that's really exciting. But the flip side of that is that means that 45% of our customers are on older releases like V9 and V10. And so it's really important for those customers to understand the value and understand the investment that we've made in Domino since version 9. So let's just kind of contrast this a little bit and look at some other technologies in terms of what they've come out with. So, in 2013, iOS 7 was released by Apple. And in 2018, you had 12 and so on and so on. So if you went to a party with your friends today and you walked up to the table and your iPhone was running iOS 7, nobody would take you seriously. They'd be like, don't you know that Apple has fixed so many bugs since iOS 7? Like, what are you doing on that old release? That's 9 years old. So why would you run your business on something that's old like that as well? And not that 9 is insecure. It's just that we have added so many capabilities and so many security features since version 9 that it would be silly to not upgrade. So let's talk about some of those things. So what are some of the specific risks that you may face if you do not upgrade? So as I said before, version 9 still secure, but as we go with each version, we've added multiple security features. So I want to talk about some of those specifically. So let's talk about some of the things that are going on in version 9 and 10. So as you know, version 9 and 10 were developed at IBM. And at IBM had their own version of Java. And so under IBM, we had to use the IBM washed version of the JVM. Well, at HCL, we're no longer using that. And so coming up soon, we're getting the last batch of fixes from IBM based on their JVM. So after the end of this year, we will not be releasing any more patches for the IBM JVM that is running underneath 9 and 10. So that is just something that you need to know. So that is definitely something that could be a risk if something happens. So obviously we would recommend that you upgrade to the latest version to get the latest version of Java as well. Also, let's talk a little bit about native TOTP. So this was introduced in version 12, and this is time-based one-time password authentication. So when a user logs into a Domino web server, you can require that they provide a time-based one-time password in addition to their username and password. So this is an additional layer of security on top of the very secure username and password layer that we have for our web users. This is included out of the box for free starting in version 12. So you get an extra layer of security for free, no cost, no additional setup as well. You just need to set that up. Sorry, you do have to set that up. Let's talk about ICAP, DKIM, and SPF. These are some of the mail-based security features that we've added natively to Domino as well over the last couple of releases. So ICAP, which is our Internet Content Adaptation Protocol. This is a lightweight and extensible point-to-point protocol that effectively adapts content for user needs. This is going to be coming in our next release. So this is coming in Danube at the end of this year. An ICAP server can also act as a server by accepting payloads and returning a specific response. This is to work in conjunction with your virus scanner so that you can put your anything that's been scanned by a virus scanner, you can determine what you want to do with that. You can put it in an archive, you can delete it, or you can pass it through. Let's talk a little about DKIM. DKIM is Domain Keys Identified Mail. This is an email standard for signing email that helps detect modification of certain message content while in transit between sending and receiving SMTP servers. So basically what this means is it puts a security stamp on it that guarantees the message that you got was not tampered with from the time that you sent it. So it's an extra layer of security that will tell you visually if your email has been tampered with from the time that it has been sent. And let's talk a little bit about SPF as well. So SPF will reject messages that fail SPF validation. You can deliver messages that fail to the recipient's junk folder, and you can bypass SPF checks for trusted servers such as internal relays. So those are just some of the security features from a mail perspective that were added or adding to our backend servers. And finally, Open SSL 3.0, that is coming in Danube as well. This is really important because this will make us FIPS 140-2 compliant. This is very important for government organizations around the world, and it is a technology that is proven to be secure. And then finally, we have our TLS certificate management that we included in 12 that I mentioned as one of our big wows. And so what we introduced in 12 is a new server task, which is the Cert Manager, that works with a new database, the Cert Store, to manage your TLS certificates in your Domino environment. This is something that is really, really important from a Domino administration perspective, and it's fully automated as of 12. So you're getting a lot of very good security, and we're automating a lot of the TLS certificate processes as well. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. So, we talked about what we've invested in the past timeline. Let's talk about what we are doing that's coming up this year, and we'll even give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming up beyond. So we have Danube, which is planned for OND of this year. So our three biggest wows, and these are just highlights, this is not all the features or functionality of this release, are better looking apps. If you were at Engage 2 weeks ago, we debuted this, ME from our wonderful design team, demoed this. This is really, really cool technology. This will allow you to quickly and easily make your existing Domino apps look amazing. You will be able to apply themes, you'll be able to apply colors to a single Domino application or many, and you will be able to do this. What once took over 2 weeks for one of our most experienced template designer, you can do in 5 minutes. As I mentioned before, we're enhancing our mail security with ICAP, DKIM, and SPF. And finally, easy meeting scheduling. If you're like us at HCL, you might be in a mixed environment. Unfortunately, our home company is on Office 365. Everyone here at Digital Solutions, we run on Domino, but we have to work with the other people who are on Office 365. And one of the biggest problems that we have is scheduling meetings, because I have to go and open 2 calendars to look and see who's free at what time. And it's really kind of a pain because it takes a lot of time. But we have out of the box put the capability from a Domino perspective and from an Outlook Online Exchange or Office 365 perspective to do a free time lookup across systems. We have this working internally today at HCL. I can see people on the HCL.com's free time availability from Verse and Notes. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. This is amazing. I no longer have to open 2 calendars. So we're passing that on to you. So let's talk a little bit about those in detail. We already talked about the restyler. Also Nomad Web without safe links. So Nomad Web, which we introduced in V12, required safe links as a web proxy. And in 12.0 in Danube, we will no longer require the installation of safe links to be used for Nomad Web. So this is really big. Really, this is going to make a clientless deployment easy as pie. Also, email virus scanning, we mentioned that as well, DKIM signature and SPF. All of these are just the security features and new features just planned in the next release. This is not an extensive release of everything or list of everything that we've done. This is just what's coming up at the end of this year. So let's talk about Danube. As I said, it's coming up in fourth quarter of this year, or O&D. Guess what? You can download and access this code today. We are in our early access program. We also announced 2 weeks ago at Engage that our early access program has finally started. This is actually the earliest we've ever done our early access program. So here's all the information. What's really interesting about this is we're going to have a monthly drop from now until September. So there will be 5 drops of this until we release. If you look on the left, you can see the dates and what we've planned in each drop. And if you look on the right, we've got the teasers for drop 1. So these are some of the features that you can expect to see in Danube and that you can actually get your hands on and test today. So if you are a current Domino customer and you are paying, you can download this today on FlexNet. And if you look at this, there is a QR code on the slide. The QR code will take you to our forum where you can give us direct feedback, where product management and development is monitoring the forum for your feedback on these features. And we will respond to anything that you post in there. One other exciting announcement, there's more. Domino Jams. The Domino Jams are back. So these are going to be our next gen jams. I have to say that 3 times fast. I don't know if I could. But these are our next gen jams. So if you are familiar with some of these pictures here, a couple of years ago, we went around the world literally to over 20 cities to meet with our customers and our business partners around the world. And we did jams, all-day sessions where we took your feedback, we took it back, and we put it into the product. And we showed you how we incorporated your ideas directly into the next release. So we do have AHA to collect your ideas, but we love the fact that we can now go back in person, face to face, and see you guys and listen, more importantly, listen to what you have to say about the product and where you want to see it go. So we're going to do this again, and we're actually doing a pilot event in Frankfurt in July. So that's really about a month from today, we're going to be doing that. And so starting in August and September, these are some of the cities that you can expect to see your favorite folks come to town and on tour and talk about Domino, your favorite products. And we're here to listen. So lots of really good things going on with Domino. So let's talk about the 3-year view ahead. So, we have Danube, and coming up next, we have in O&D 2023, we have Thames. So, and after that, we have Rio Grande. So as you can see, we have a 3-year commitment to our Domino roadmap where we will be releasing in the fourth quarter or O&D on an annual basis. And some of these, future-facing WOWs are subject to change. I'm actually here in Chelmsford, which is the home of our lab and our directors for development, and we are actually sitting down to write down and get TIMS into the books and into JIRA. So we are already planning the next release before we have even released Danube, and while Danube is in early access. So we will be, defining our WOWs for TIMS this week and over the next week. And so we will be communicating that as the year goes on and as we lead up to Danube as well. And after that, we have Rio Grande.
I think you can all see how busy Barry is in terms of the things that he's working on, and they're all for you, by the way. So these are things that he's doing to make Domino even better. So we wanted to end the day and talk about some additional resources that we have for you, and we've included not only a web link but a QR code so you can easily get to these depending on that. And one of the things that you'll notice is that we have a handout today, and I want to mention that to you because if you go to your handout thing, you can download a PDF version of the slides that we presented today. And if you have a need or want to go back and review that, that'll be great. So, but what I want to do is just make sure you know that we do have a dedicated Domino 12 upgrade where you can click on and get access to technical resources, to more information, understand more of the benefits of version 12 that we talked about today. And that's in the first item here. The second item here is on the early access program that Barry just spoke about for our Danube release, which is in the October, November, December timeframe this year. This goes to our blog that we just released a few weeks back. And this blog has a lot of information, a lot of links in it to take you anywhere you want to go if you want to learn more about the early access program or how to get involved, etc. We also have a Domino 12 benefits guide that gives you more information on the features, the benefits, and the value of the latest release. And lastly, we have a technical deep dive into 12.0.1 to give you more information again on the very latest there. A great webinar if you want to dig into the details here. So those are the things we wanted to share with you, and we hope you'll enjoy looking at some of that information and using some of those resources. And we're delighted that you joined us today. I'm not sure if we have any questions. I didn't check that. It looks like we've got a few.
Yes.
Barry, do you want to try and look at a few of these?
Sure, let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's a question about a specific Dell backup tool. What I would suggest, we do have a new backup system in V12. Take a look at that. If it does not support the specific vendor, put an idea into AHA, and then product management will look at that, and then we will prioritize that and see what we can do to provide that functionality. I know that we're consistently adding functionality and vendors to the backup functionality as well. Which drop will include Domino for IBMI? That's a great question, Kim. I don't know specifically. I know that it is planned for the beta. I don't know which drop. I will get back to you and I will reach out to you on that. And let's see, George, Nomad Web without safe links will be running in Danube. Nomad Mobile safe links. Okay, so the way that it will work is that safe links will no longer be required for the web If you have SafeLinks installed or you are using it for other functionalities, it will continue to work for the web. It will just no longer be required for that particular functionality. Will Danu be available in the HCL cloud? That's a great question. So HCL has a cloud offering called HCL Now. Domino is not offered in HCL Now. If you would like to run Domino in a cloud, you can run Domino today in your own private cloud. It runs in Docker containers, it runs in Kubernetes, it runs in GCP, it runs in Azure. If you want it to be hosted by someone else, we do have a program called the Cloud Hosting Providers, or CHMSPs. This is 8 global partners that host our software in a SaaS type of offering per user per month. So depending on where you're located, would be who you would want to reach out to. So we have, one that covers North America, a couple in Europe, a couple in Asia as well, and then one in Africa. So depending on your location, take a look at that, and they can give you a price quote on a per user per month kind of a SaaS type of offering. And they also run the latest versions of Domino and all of our products. So they offer Domino same time connections and all of those. So I think that looks like that's all of the questions. There was a question about which early access drop will include Nomad Web without SafeLinks. I don't know that. I would suggest, I know what's coming up I know what's in drop 1, I know what's in drop 2. I suggest that what you do is you follow our blog. We will, every time there's a new drop, we will update the blog with the contents of the drop. We do work agilely. So, we are, as features are finished, that's when we put them into the early access drops. We do have a schedule that we try to work to, but we are working agilely as well. SaaS offering in the Middle East. So I would take a look at the CHMSPs. I believe that our CHMSP in France, Connolink, they have customers in the Middle East. So take a look at them. I think they're called C3 is their solution. I believe that's what it's called, Connolink. So if you have a specific need in the Middle East for a SaaS provider for our software, take a look at those guys. They're really good. Any other questions? I think that it looks like that's about it. Well, Dan, just thank you very much. Jan, thank you as well. Thank you to everyone for participating. We appreciate your time that you took to listen to us talk about Domino, and we appreciate your participation in the poll as well. So take a look at the early access program. If you need help with upgrading, reach out to us. We will help you. We've got services, we've got business partners. So we are here to help you along your digital transformation journey.
And if you want to, the replay of this will be included in an email notification you get tomorrow for having attended today's meeting, in case you want to replay and or share what was learned today. So thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Appreciate your help. And thank you for joining.
Bye, everyone.